Greetings, it is I, Tantus Naravan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It is time for Gathering the Roll, the only news program supported by the Empire, with fantastic and exciting news from collectible card games such as Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh!, role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons, Shadowrun, and Pathfinder, and of course, board games and other various tabletop games. Let's begin with our collectible card game news, and of course, Magic the Gathering. Couple things out this week. First off, nothing new in the banned and standard list. They've released that information, they have not updated at all. Which, if you watch my discussing Tabletop, which we were discussing the take on Modern, it's an interesting thing that they haven't released anything. A lot of discussion going on in the community as to why they haven't, but very interesting that they haven't. They've also released some box information and, of course, foil card information on the Mind vs. Might dual decks. This includes two legends as being the main foil cards at the beginning of these decks that are from the Ice Age / Cold Snap block. Very interesting that they're bringing them back. Now, there are two tournaments this week. The Grand Prix Shizuoka in Japan, a standard constructed deck tournament, and of course the Porto Alegre Grand Prix in Brazil, also the same standard construction. So you can check both of these out now. Now let's move on, of course, from Magic news to some Yu-Gi-Oh! News with Star Pack Battle Royals, a special 50 card set, 3 cards per set, that if you're new to getting, that it guarantees a star card in every one of these packs. So that's what it is. It's got a whole bunch of new star cards. If you're new to the star card series, this might be a good place to get yourself in. Let's move on, though, from collectible card game news to some role-playing news, with, of course, Dungeons & Dragons to start out with. First off, Magic has announced a new app you can get, D&D Beyond. This is a special tool that they're releasing for all your 5th edition needs, from references to character creation, helping out DMing. It's made to help you out. They're having signups for the beta now. I will have that link in the description below, so you can check out both the announcement for it, and of course, if you want to sign up for the beta, you can too. Also from D&D is, of course, another Unearthed Arcana, this time a class, Mystic. They're bringing us the Mystic, which is a class that's based around a new type of ability, Psionics ability. They're introducing it to us through this. They're taking it in a different route than they've taken it in the previous releases, where rather than sort of mimicking magic, it's going to be its own thing. Kind of harkening back towards 2nd edition a little bit. So you can check it out now. Moving on to some Paizo and Pathfinder news, they have released a new Player's Compendium, Monster Hunter. It's all about slaying behemoths, hunting down various creatures in the wild, and claiming their heads, defeating them. So it's an interesting book out now. Let's move on to some White Wolf news from, of course, being released in the Vampire the Requiem, which is, of course, in the Chronicles of Darkness series, is Secrets of the Count. This is all about various kind of vampiric secret societies and groups, giving you some stories from them, some information on them, and a few character options. You can check it out now. Moving on to some Fast Sun Earth Dawn news, they've released the final preview of a High Circle character, High Circle Cavalier. So this is capping off all their High Circle play previews leading up to the new book that they're going to be releasing that's going to have all this information and more. I'll be talking a little bit about that book, but for now, if you want to check out some basic preview, some information about a High Circle Cavalier, if you're playing one, you can check it out now for your 9th to 15th Circle play in Earth Dawn. Let's move on to some other RPG news. This is an interesting one, just because I'm a reporter and have to report everything. The Tales of Equestria role-playing game has been released. So this is, in fact, a My Little Pony role-playing game. It's released the full compilation core book for it, so you can basically have all your role-playing games that you want to be in My Little Pony's universe. Well, now you can. You can check it out now. Let's move on to board game news. There's only one bit of board game / card game news. There's the Freestyle Rap Battle card game now has a free print yourself copy that you can get online. I'll again put that link, but if you wish to have this card game out and you don't want to pay for it, they have offering basically a free copy you can get and print out on your own to play with your friends. So that's it for the news for this week. Links to any of these news stories, of course, will be in the description below. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. It's always important to share the news. If you have any questions or comments about any of these news stories or anything else, you can always leave them in the comments. If there's anything that you wish for us to talk about, any large-scale discussions or suggestions for topics for discussing tabletop, please just also leave them in the comments below. That's at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Saturday. We're going to be at www.twitch.tv/Tantus and Dracovin. Link will be in the description. If you want to also not even leave in the comments, you can also email us if you want to do at discussingtabletop@yahoo.com. It's another way that you can contact us without anything about discussing tabletop. But regardless, until the next time, I bid you farewell.